Alright, time for another draftphysics.com, debatephysics.com. Almost more importantly, you can find a bunch of 5-minute videos detailing specific arguments related to the kinetic energy theory and how it's absolutely nonsense. There is no such thing as 1/2 mv squared as anything real in the universe, and numerous experiments prove the fact, and yet the physicists are too cowardly to do anything called rationally defending their beliefs. No. All they do is slander and take cheap shots and blah, blah, blah. So, continuing on the Wikipedia saga, so I guess I'll put the name of this turd, the Wikipedia turd, somewhere in here. Yeah, I think this is the right page. Okay. Whatever this name is of his, here somewhere, yeah. VQuakr. Yeah, right. Quacker, something, yeah, whatever. All right, so anyway, so he closed the thread, so you can't talk about improving their thrust page. Now, the irony is somebody else, typed a bunch of slanderous crap in here referencing the fact that 8 years ago I had a dispute with Wikipedia over the Lesage gravity page. And the fact is I just added a link, to a whole page I had written on the subject, and there was 5 other links on the page, 5 links, okay, to other web pages that were of no better or superior quality to my own, no better source, none of that crap. Quite equal. And I posted the link, and they deleted it, and I said, well, why? It's just as good as the other links on the page. And so instead of explaining why those links were bad or why my link was inappropriate, they deleted all the links. So that's how they fixed the problem of having to say, well, if we're going to treat him fairly, well, then we're going to have to persecute other people, because we want to persecute him, so we'll persecute the other links. So they deleted content that was relevant just to pettily attack me. And the irony was the whole thing was a conspiracy by a guy called Wayward Horizons, who was an editor at Wikipedia and one of my little haters, just coincidentally. And so he contrived the whole thing, and I pointed out that, I can sue you for that, okay? It's a conspiracy to slander me, to discredit me, to defame me, okay? These are all illegal things you can't do. And because I threatened a lawsuit, all of a sudden I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to assert my rights and claim that I have constitutional protections. So somehow it was illegal for me to claim I have constitutional rights. Now, this is the very thing I got on a federal watch list for. I said to a judge, you're violating my constitutional rights, my United States constitutional rights. And I got put on a watch list for saying that to a judge. So, I mean, that's how insipidly corrupt and broken all of these systems are, because people are silly dupes. They're little, they're not even minions. They're just slaves to corruption, because they're too lazy and too ignorant to fight back. And it's just a pathetic truth. Human beings are weaselly garbage. And the sooner a fucking asteroid shows up to, sink you all into oblivion, the better. All right, anyway. So this weasel, so that's just the context. So, yeah, I'm saying it's 8 years later. I'm going to make a new account. What's the big deal? Okay, see if I can, try to get anybody reasonable at this little shithole to behave like a human being. What a human being should be, which is to have something called integrity. And these people have zero integrity. All right, so I should just point out that the Lesage page is about 15 times more words on it, maybe 20, maybe 30 times. It is so deep in terms of the amount of content on that page compared to the thrust page. It's just hilarious. So a key concept in physics, thrust, is almost meaningless, and this almost what they almost consider a flat earth theory, they have pages and pages and pages of content. It's just showing this amazing duplicity. You point out the page is shit, okay, you want to talk about it. So it's, again, I was on the talk page. I wasn't on the edit page. I didn't try to edit anything. I didn't try to change anything. All I wanted to do was get them to talk about how deceptive and unclear and vague and silly their fucking pages on a key physics concept, thrust. All right. So this asshole writes, okay, you can probably see that shit. Please refrain from using talk pages such as talk thrust for general discussions of this or other topics. So there was no general discussion. There was a specific claim made, okay, that you can't cite Newton's third law and then not point out that the third law applies only to momentum. They are all for discussion related to improving the article in specific ways. Yeah, the specific way you improve it is to tell the truth about what the historical truth is. You don't lie about it. You don't sit there and imply something that's not true. All right, based on reliable sources and the project policies and guidelines. Well, the reliable source is Newton. All right, I've made specific claims defending Newtonian mechanics. Newton is very well sourced. The simple fact is the article you have posted is a discredit to science and the actual history of understanding. So it just doesn't have anything to do with paying any attention to the fact that one of the key components of thrust is landing on the moon, for example. And the thrust page should have something on it about navigating to the surface of another moving body in space. And the fact is 1/2 mv squared won't do it. And it should be clear that thrust essentially does in fact prove kinetic energy theory to be nonsense. You can't use it in space. It don't work. All right. They are not for use in as a forum or chat room, whatever the fuck that would mean. So anyway, I said, if you can't even talk on the talk pages, you're just showing Wikipedia to be a sham. So again, why are they afraid of people saying something? They could just leave it there. They don't have to respond to it. They can just ignore it, let it sit there for a decade. No, instead they have to delete it. There's no accusations made against them personally. There's no nonsense. There's nothing that needs deletion. There's just the simple statement that your page is a piece of shit and you probably should fix it, but you're not interested, quite obviously. All right. So he says, if you have specific questions about search, so this is what every forum does. Oh, you don't understand, you're stupid, so go ask a question to us. Politely ask us a question. Don't make an assertion that we're wrong, because you're not allowed to do that. Just amazing duplicity. Oh. If you have a specific question about certain topics, consider visiting our reference desk. Oh, I'm sure that's a fun place. And asking them there instead of on article talk pages. So just to make right, you have a specific thing to say about a specific article on Wikipedia, and you're not allowed to say it on a thing called a talk page. Amazing. Anyway, so I state, I have accusations, I don't have questions. The fact is you have no regard for the truth, and your behavior is on the record. So, what else can you do? You can't do anything else. You interact with these people, they do it right in front of everybody, they just couldn't care less. And it's only going to change when they're finally embarrassed and we piss on somebody's grave now and then, just to point out that you really don't want to be in a grave that gets pissed on every day. That you don't want to be shown you don't want to be on the ash heap of history in the sense of being in the outhouse of history. But these fuckers should all have their graves pissed on. See the talk page guidelines for more information. Thank you. Okay, and if you look at the guidelines, they're just too silly. Don't talk about the subject on the subject page because, it's not about the subject. It's about us just telling you what the truth is. And so don't bother even interacting with us because we have absolutely no interest in hearing that we have done anything wrong or that we suck at our job. And that's all it is. It's just cover up. These are like cops. They just cover up for each other. Okay, vague gibberish used to afford you the right to bail out of any conversation you can't win. And that's the example at every single forum, every single interaction with these fucking arrogant pieces of goddamn human garbage. Every fucking time they're losing the argument, they just close the argument. All right, I ask you to please refrain from abusing the guidelines to propagandize your religious ideology by censoring needed discussion. And that's all it's about. They have a religion. They don't want anybody talking about evolution or any truth or any of that crap, okay, because it's all about their lies. So then the asshole, post a bunch of, has to dox me. So he's using an account that's just an IP address, right? So he's not even using a username. He doesn't even have a real account. All right, and just to post garbage. So again, that's just a malicious. You do understand the word malicious. You're proving your act is malicious. You don't want to be accountable for it. All right, by hiding, okay, and then doxing people while you're hiding. I mean, the hypocrisy is it's just so fucking amazing. All right, so I'll read what he says. He has technically no business on Wikipedia since he has made legal threats against editors and Wikipedia itself. Well, the fact is I'm allowed to assert my rights not to be slandered. So, again, you're not going to win that lawsuit that you're allowed to in some way penalize me for asserting a constitutional right. You can't do that in America, fucktard. You fascist piece of shit. Okay, these legal formalities have not been closed. Well, I don't know if they were never open, so exactly how are they formalities? So that's a lie right there. There's no legal formality. All right, I didn't file a lawsuit, so lie some more, fucktard. So technically, he ought to not to be allowed back on Wikipedia, and that's fine if that's how they want to be about it. Just prove again that you're just about censoring. And I have done nothing wrong. Okay, I've defended myself against people slandering me, nothing else. And I've proposed changes that are perfectly within the realm of reasonable. Okay. I will document this discussion back then, which is great because what he did, okay, was provided the links I didn't want to have to go looking for from the previous encounter. And so you can see it's just the same old bullshit. Exactly the same bullshit. Their control freakery has no bounds. Okay, he has moved houses, so he has a new IP address. Well, frankly, I don't have a new IP address because Verizon erroneously killed my account well after I moved. So after I moved, they made a technical error. Okay, when I changed what plan I was in, they ruined my account and I had to create a new one. And can technically make new profile, which he did. The person, however, still has legal litigations threats. Yes, I'm allowed to assert my constitutional right not to have assholes like you lie about anything I have done in my life. You're not allowed to be a fucking sick little petty liar. You fucking coward. You hiding coward. All right. These have not been resolved in U.S. court. They never were put in U.S. court. So again, a lie to imply that they haven't been resolved in court when they never were in court. Let's see. So he ought to stay banned and not allowed to make new accounts, which is against Wikipedia's policy. Yes, because what will I do with that account? Oh, I'll claim some right to say, hey, your page is a piece of shit. Oh, but you're not allowed to say that. Let's see. He has not vandalized any content pages yet, he puts in parentheses. But I do wish to point out that the videos make it clear that he has a personal agenda. No, there's no personal agenda. So the videos make it clear that you're all fascist, lying, slandering pieces of goddamn human garbage. That's what makes it fucking clear. All right, he has not changed in 9 years' time. Of course I haven't changed because I'm doing life right, and you're doing it as a weasel and a liar. Okay, so he leaves his IP. I mean, maybe I should publish his IP address just as a, you know, if you're going to publish my name when you have no right to do that. That's against Wikipedia's policy. You're not allowed to do that, you fucking piece of shit. So they allow that crap. Okay, criticizing one of their pages, that's not allowed. But they are allowed to sit there and dox people on Wikipedia. That's perfectly allowed. Amazing bullshit. All right, so let's go to, yeah, let's go back to the history. First, let me just show you the, let's see if I can find the right 2 pages. So I'll take a pause. All right, they should be available. All right, so this is the thrust page. So let's just scroll it. Okay, not terrible. Oh, that's it. All done. Okay, so that's it for the page on the physics of thrust. That's all you're going to get. All right, now let's go look at Lesage gravity. Okay, so this is Lesage gravity, right? Something no physicist believes in. They think it's a crackpot theory. Even though Newton liked it, all these guys liked it, frankly. It's just the truth. They were like trying to make it work and they couldn't quite do it. Now I've done that. I fixed the little tiny problem it had. And so even Feynman conceded it perfectly duplicates gravity. It's excellent, fantastic. And the only problem was this drag issue. And the simple truth is, yeah, electrons and protons are dragged. That's why you can't make a real electron gun. That's why you just can't make one and shoot electrons. It's because they're always dragged to a halt. But anyway, let's just look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And on and on and on and on and on and on. All great stuff. I mean, all kinds of quotes from all kinds of people, all kinds of great research here. This is not, it was a good page even when I went to it, 8 years ago. All this for Lesage gravity and the thrust page, absolute shit. Nothing. Look at all this. I mean, you got Maxwell, you got Lord Kelvin, you got all kinds of quotes, all kinds of information. Look, Poincare, you got all this crap in here for a theory they don't believe in. Right? Look, it keeps going on. All the concepts are talked about. The range of gravity, aberration, all these concepts that they won't talk about with thrust. Because if they did it with thrust, they'd have to admit, yes, it's all about momentum. There is zero connection to anything called kinetic energy. So that one of the things that looks more energetic than anything else in the universe, that is, everything moving in the universe had to be thrusted into that condition. Everything was essentially fired out of a gun. Everything was essentially coming out of the nozzle of a spaceship. Everything that's moving has been thrusted. It's one of the key concepts in motion in physics. And they say nothing on the subject. And look at all this. For a theory they hate. Okay, for a theory they think they have debunked. And look at this. It goes on and on. All right, there. Finally, we reach the end. Can you grasp the duplicity of these people? How preposterous this nonsense is? All of these references. All right, so let me just point out. So all I did, right? So before you got to these footnotes, in the old days, they had a little category here called external references. All right, and they listed 4 or 5 websites that talked about Lesage gravity. And all I did was say, well, look, I have a whole thing I wrote on it. So, and I did videos and the whole thing. I think that should be part of that reference. So I added the link. Again, they immediately deleted it with nothing. as an explanation. So I said, okay, well, what's the difference? You explain to me what the difference is between my link and the other 5 links on the page. Tell me what the difference is. And they couldn't tell me what the difference is, so they deleted the other 5 links. That was their solution, was to rob other people of exposure, okay, to attack me. That's how petty they are. Okay, if I have it, then and they want to stop me from having something, then they'll stop everyone on earth from having it. Okay, because they have to attack me. I mean, it's just all this personal stuff. Again, this Wayward Horizon guy was in love with me and all this bullshit, and then I hurt his little feelings, and he went on this insane revenge because I didn't somehow love him or something. I don't know what the fuck, but that's what all it was. I mean, it's just clear. And every one of these lunatic attackers of me are in this category. Brozo was, licking my asshole. I mean, he was so in love with me, and he wanted to do anything he could for me. And he went out and bought all kinds of crap that I told him not to buy, and he did all kinds of stuff. And all of a sudden, oh no, I have to now destroy this person. I mean, it's just so pathetic. Every fucking one of these people is some sort of, disappointed homo or something. I don't know what the fuck. I don't even know what to say. It's just ridiculous. Their judgment is so poor. It's amazing. I've gone through my whole life and I never fell out of love and I never fell in love. I never went from hate to love or love to hate. It's just too ridiculous. You can't get that shit right. You shouldn't be playing life. If you can't figure out who the enemy is and who the ally is, then you really shouldn't be playing the game of life. Fucking look at this page. I mean, and I love to read some of this again, but there's just so much of it. But the critique is so thin. They really don't have a counter argument. That's the fact. And the whole thing, the sad fact is they do call this Lesage gravity when it's clearly Fadio's gravity. Lesage just did Fadio the favor of saying, well, look, I'm going to republish this guy because what he's talking about was really meritorious. And so there's absolutely no reason Lesage is even really talked about because he didn't do anything, okay? He didn't enhance the theory, didn't make it deeper, didn't do any of that stuff. Okay, and the fact is that, look, Fadio talked to Christian Huygens. He talked to all these people. Newton signed his goddamn paper, basically saying, yes, it's a reasonable attack on the subject. It's a reasonable proposition. Fadio was key to the whole controversy between Leibniz. Leibniz didn't like Fadio at all, of course. Okay, and Fadio was key to engaging the whole, turning the whole controversy over Newton's invention of whatever the math is, the math thing. Fadio was the one who started it because Fadio made it a public statement stating what other reasonable conclusion can be drawn. I mean, clearly Newton published long before Leibniz on the subject. Clearly, it's the obligation of Leibniz to demonstrate he had the idea first, because Newton clearly had the idea first. Well, anyway, just disgusting. All right, so where do we go from here? So I'll pause and I'll just see. I mean, I've already made all these thrust arguments, so I don't really want to make them over and over again. So I think the argument's been made. Thrust basically proves Newton was correct, that Newton's physics works. Momentum is energy. Quantity of motion. If a reasonable person would have to conclude that when Descartes and Newton said quantity of motion, maybe even Galileo said it, they were saying energy. I mean, there's no other way to look at it. That's what they were saying. That's what quantity of motion was, the amount of energy something had. And that physics works perfect. There's absolutely no evidence it doesn't work. There's no evidence you will fail to walk correctly or to do anything on this planet by being obedient to the notion that momentum is energy, that momentum does work, that momentum is your capacity. Okay, it's the force. As Newton explicitly said, it's the same thing as the force. He said it explicitly. Twice the force, twice the velocity. 3 times the force, 3 times the velocity. And these pathetic liars, okay, instead of explaining how that's not what Newton believed, instead of showing one sentence where Newton said anything positive about any notion of the living force, mv squared, instead of reclamating any of the bad experiments done. I mean, the axiom, Leibniz's only evidence was his statement, okay, not his proof, just his statement that 4 pounds dropped 1 foot is the same energy as 1 pound dropped 4 feet. He said it was true. He never showed it to be true, and it's fundamentally not true. It's just not the fucking truth that a 1 pound going twice the speed is the same force as 4 pounds going 1 unit of velocity. It's just factually not true. And these liars keep talking this trash instead of countering the argument. All right. Now, I'll take a pause. All right. So I do have the thrust argument, okay, on the website. There's a little link to it and everything, and it just goes through what has been said and how I didn't do anything evil. I just want I want them to acknowledge that their subject is crap, that they should fix it, that it doesn't really do justice to what thrust is and what it means in physics. And so I will place the rest of this shit down here, this video, and and then I'll move on to the next web page that is garbage physics. I mean, the space page is probably crap. The force page is crap. The matter page, the energy page is certainly going to be crap, full of lies about de Chardollet and other nonsense. So, I'll find one of those to be the next target, okay, of correction or improvement. Until they ban me, I guess. I mean, or if they're just going to delete everything I type, well then fuck it. Yeah, there'll be a point where I just say, well, fuck it. You can't interact with these arrogant overlords. These fact religious mullahs of the facts, the ayatollahs of the truth, and that's all they are. So let's play some of the 8-year ago video. So that All right. So this is from 8 years ago. So I might as well go to this third one. I haven't listened to these in years. So this was the third video. So it's probably the summing up video. But we'll still know I had a fourth. So it's titled "Wikipedia Editors Just Petty Fascist Propagandizing Control Freaks."
Wikipedia update video. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of these, I think, in the future. Wikipedia's evil. It's fucktardopedia, lying scumopedia, skanky, dirty, lying, skanky cuntopedia. Yeah, it's bad news. So anyway, so this asshole, right? All right. So he posted on this is like some page they just give you, right? This is what they do. You sign up. They give you this stupid page where you talk or whatever.
Well, yeah, where they talk shit. That's all it is. It's a page for people to show up and just talk shit about the user, and the user has no options. It can't do anything about any shit talking they do on the page. So it's just a place to go to attack a user they don't like. That's all it's for. That's all it's for. Attack the user page. Okay, but you can't attack them. So if I typed anything derogatory or accusatory or I doxed them on their talk page, I would be banned and deleted. But they can do it on yours. Just disgusting duplicity.
Shit on here, right? And so this asshole posts on this page. This is my public account name page. Sock puppetry. Regarding your edits. These aren't my edits. At Lesage Gravitate. So he's accusing me of making these edits. I didn't make any of these edits. On this IP address. It's not my IP address.
So it's even, you know, even worse. They can sit there and make up a fake story about stuff that never fucking happened, or blame you for what somebody else did. Type it, and again, it's there, and you can't do anything about it. Not a fucking thing you can do. They can just make a false accusation, and there's nothing you can do about it. They can just slander the fuck out of you, and it's okay. But you can't even say, I think you are incorrect, or I think, worse, you can't say something like, I don't think you know what you're talking about. No, you're not allowed to say that.
Please be aware of Wikipedia's policy regarding sock puppetry. Alright, so if I title this video, Wikipedia, please be aware that pedophilia is against the law. YouTube will probably take it down. Because I can't make an implication like that. It's not only just fundamentally rude, it's disgusting, you scumbag. So I asked a simple question, right? So this is how bad this fucking skumhole is. I asked the simple question, are you making some kind of accusation here? If so, how about I sue you? If so, it says, right? If so. So if you're accusing me regarding your edits, these are not my edits. That's a lie. They're not my edits. So I'm asking him, this is part of decent legal process. Are you making some kind of accusation? Are you saying these are my edits? If so, you're lying about me. It's a malicious lie, because you have no evidence of it.
Okay, so no point in going into all the details. But anyway, we'll jump ahead. It's just so bad. And it's just the same old, right? So the same thing happens. You can't do anything, okay, to fix anything. They're in control. It's their playground. It's their sandbox. It's their, Tonka toys. And they're going to tell the world what the truth is. And let's just understand that these pages are the #1 reference on the search engine. So this content gets viewed. And this small number of weasels is deciding what the truth is. Okay, and they have no honor and no integrity. They will not allow a public discussion regarding anything they're doing. They can just maliciously do whatever the fuck they want. Okay, they can lie about people. They can make up fake pages. They can talk fake science. And you can't do a goddamn thing about it. It's disgusting that we've put the world in the hands of these petty fucktards. This fucking jackass, whoever the fuck this asshole is. This whatever it is, VQuakr kook. Alright. It's probably enough of a video, but frankly, it is funny. Yeah. So I'll put links to this old controversy on somewhere on the thrust page, I guess. I mean, it might as well. Because it was, like I said, it's the same at every single forum. The same thing has happened. It's all on the record every single time you try to dispute with evidence, with argument, with logic, their silly religion. They just attack you, okay, and delete the conversation. There's no way to run an internet. So, fuck Wikipedia. Till dead. Yeah. Piss on its grave. Alright, anyway. Till the next time and such. I think that's really enough.